Hey guys, my name is Amanda. Welcome to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here today. Let's go ahead and jump right into the DIYs. For DIY number one, I'm going to show you how I made this adorable bunny tray. Using a plastic tray from Dollar Tree and some Dollar Tree window clings, I began by giving the tray 2 coats of Waverly Plaster chalk paint. I then went all the way around the brim with a solid coat of Waverly Ballet Slipper chalk paint. I then made sure that my edge of the brim and where the tray meet were not perfect. I actually dry brushed over it a little. I wasn't super careful. I made it look a little sloppy, and I kind of did this on purpose. I want the edge to start out solid, but then kind of fade off into a light distressing because I want to give this tray a super kind of aged, vintagey look. So that is how I did that. And then I took this little bunny cling off the sheet of window clings, and then I put some glue on the back using an Elmer's glue stick. I then flipped it over and pressed it down on the middle of my tray. Not to worry, I am going to be Mod Podging over the top, but this glue stick holds it down for this part. So I just make sure that it's nicely adhered using my finger, and then I figure out where I want my other clings. So I put an egg on either side, and then a little flower arrangement, kind of catty-corner to each other, and I just do the same thing using this glue stick and then pressing it down very firmly with my finger once I figure out exactly where I want everything. And this just works out really well. I think this is adorable, and I was so super excited to find this bunny window cling. I know not all Dollar Trees are the same, but I really hope that if you like this cling, you find it as well. So once I get that all done, I am now going to come in with some Waverly Antique Wax on my brush, and I'm going to brush around the brim of this tray, just kind of dry brushing, which means having a little tiny bit of the wax on my brush and just rubbing it into the edge of this tray. I am then going to kind of go around the inside in a back and forth motion just to give it a little bit more of the distressed look. I then take a clean dry paper towel and just rub over it to make sure that that antique wax is rubbed in. Next, I'm going to be not wiping, oh my goodness, coating this entire tray with some Mod Podge. Now I'm using the dishwashable Mod Podge, but you could use whatever you like. The reason I'm using that particular Mod Podge is so that I can wipe this off with a damp cloth if it becomes dusty. And here is what it looks like. So absolutely adorable. I love it, and I hope that you love it too. And this cost us around $2 to make, and it's such a gorgeous statement piece for a vignette or a china cabinet. I just think it is so pretty. You could even make some little plates to match and have like a little set. So there is that idea for you. So let's along. I really hope that you're enjoying today's video. If you are, please hit that thumbs up button, as it really helps me out here on YouTube and lets them know that this is content that you like to see. Also, please remember to subscribe if you haven't, so you can join our little family. I have lots of plans coming up, lots of exciting videos planned. So please remember to subscribe and also hit that little thumbs up button so you're notified every time that I upload. So excited about how things are going on my channel. We just hit 4K and I'll soon be doing a giveaway. Today's challenge is the Hello Spring Open Invite, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more here in a few minutes. But for now, let's get right into DIY number 2. DIY number 2, I'm going to share with you this adorable bunny couple standing in front of their fence. So I found these little bunny cutouts at the Dollar Tree. I was so excited. They're so adorable. And I found these 2 little fences, which are also adorable, but I decided that I was going to be using the back of them. So I flip them to the back, and then I take off the little hands that are sticking off of the bunny so that my sign will lay flat. I use a couple of spare wood planks to hold my sign together using hot glue. I then flip my sign back over and I paint the entire thing with 2 coats of Waverly chalk paint. Then I'm going to go over it with a mixture of my dark granite chalk paint and Waverly plaster chalk paint till I get like a light gray look, and I will paint over the plaster chalk paint with my gray paint. Now I don't do a perfect job, and I let some of that plaster chalk paint peek through. Next, I'm going to take a marker and a ruler, and I am just going to create these fence slats by just drawing straight lines down using the ruler to keep me straight. And once that is done, I'm going to take my brush with a little bit of that gray mixture on it and just go over those lines to kind of blend them in and make sure that they are not quite so stark. Next, I'm going to begin on both of my bunnies by removing the hanger, and I'm going to paint in the ears with Waverly Ballet Slipper chalk paint. I'll also paint in the nose with the pink chalk paint, and then I'll be doing a couple more things, but I love the faces on these bunnies, and I love the color of their clothing, so I don't want to change them too much. Just cover up some of that glitter. So now I'm going to glue my couple to the fence, making sure that their feet are level with the bottom of the fence. So I'm just using hot glue, but you can use any type of adhesive that you like. Hot glue worked pretty well for me. So I'm just positioning them, trying to make sure they're pretty much even with the other side of the fence, if that makes sense. Like, just have them kind of equally spaced, I guess is a better way to say that. And once that is done, I can continue to embellish. So I'm going to take this carrot from Dollar Tree. They come 4 to a pack. I'm going to cut off the greenery at the top, and I'm going to glue it down right on top of the carrot that Mr. Bunny is holding. And then I am going to attach some boxwood greenery to the end of the carrot to kind of cover up the greenery on the picture and just kind of further embellish this 3D look. Once I'm done with that, getting it exactly how I like it, and I do put a couple of smaller pieces in front, I'm going to put a carrot on either side of the bottom of the sign using my hot glue and kind of placing the carrot at an angle. Then I'm going to go ahead and take some of these eggs from Dollar Tree. They're foam glittery eggs, and they come 12 to a pack. I'm going to paint them in some various colors, which I will show you here in a minute. We'll also put twine bows at the top of each bunny's ear, just a little shoelace bow. Now here are my eggs, what they look like once I have them painted in the colors I showed, and I'm just going to be placing them down however I like it. No particular rhyme or reason, I just want it to look super cute. So I put a couple on either side of the carrot, and then I'm going to be putting some in the middle of the fence, but I'm also going to put some in her little basket to make the eggs in the basket look 3D, just like Mr. Bunny's carrot looks 3D. So I'm just going to place 3 eggs. I'm going to place 2 down, and then the one in the middle will slightly overlap the other 2. So I'll just make sure that that is glued very well on either side. And that looks so cute. Once that is done, I'll then put some eggs between the 2 bunnies. I also add another little twine shoelace bow underneath the eggs on her basket to kind of cover up the glittery bow that is there. And then there's no particular rhyme or reason of how I place the colors of these eggs. I just tried to make sure that the same color wasn't all lumped together, if that makes sense. So this is so cute, so easy, and only about $6 for this craft, and it is quite a large statement piece. I will be putting it on my covered porch when weather permits, but everybody in my family, especially the kids, just thought that this was so cute. So here's what it looks like. I'm sorry, this morning is a bit stormy. I don't have the best lighting to show this large of a piece, but hopefully you get the idea. It is so adorable, and it was so easy to make. It would be super fun to recreate with kiddos. Talk about today's challenge. It is hosted by the Rusted Willow. Her name is Tammy, and then Ellie from DIY House to Home, and guest host is Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY. I have worked with all of these ladies before. They're so sweet and kind, and I love all of the creations that they do. They all have their own unique style, which is absolutely amazing, and they will all be linked below. Their channels will, as well as the playlist. I know that there's going to be tons of amazing inspiration today. So here's a peek at what their channels look like. Tammy, the Rusted Willow, Ellie from DIY House to Home, and then my friend Brenda at Rustic and Lace. So stop by and tell them I said hi. Let's move right into DIY number 3. So for DIY number 3, I'm going to share with you this adorable little wooden Easter blessings check. So this cutout is from the Dollar Tree, and I go ahead and give it a coat of Waverly plaster tuck paint on either side. Of course, I have removed the hanger from the top, And now I'm just going to go around the outline of this chick with Waverly Ballet Slipper chalk paint. And I'm not being super tidy with it. I'm kind of trying to use the same technique that I used for the tray in the beginning of this video. I'm trying to make sure that the outline is kind of solid, and then I kind of fade inward with a dry brushing, if that makes sense, just to kind of give this a vintage, kind of rustic feel. It just ends up looking so adorable. So again, I go around the whole outline with a pretty solid little coat, and then kind of brush it inward here and there, trying to make sure that some parts are just a little bit dry brushed. And once I get that exactly how I like it, the rest is so easy. So here I go, and then I'm going to put a little bit of the Waverly Plaster Chalk paint on a brush and just lightly brush over the ballet slipper, just to kind of mute it and blend it in. I just think that this is such a soft and pretty look. And now I'm going to take the sheet of window clings that I used on the first DIY, and I'm going to take off the little Easter blessings wreath, and I'm going to use my glue stick on the back to make sure that I got a whole bunch of glue on there so it will adhere. Then I'm going to flip it back over and press it down firmly with my finger. Once it is nicely adhered and it's already looking super cute, and it's very repositionable too with this glue stick. That's why, another reason why I like to use the glue stick. Now I'm going to go over the whole thing with my dishwasher safe Mod Podge. Again, any Mod Podge will do. I like this one in case I have to wipe this craft down. I just make a cute little bow with some ribbon I had in my stash. I believe it was from Michael's, but Dollar Tree has really cute ribbon, and this bow is very simple, just tied in the middle with a piece of jute twine. And before I place the bow, I decided that this little chick needs a collar first, because the bow would look kind of funny just kind of sitting there, is what I decided. So I'm going to go ahead and make a little collar by just cutting a strip of that ribbon. I'm going to fold the edges inward to make the strip a little bit thinner, because I don't want to cover his whole entire head with his collar. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that to the width that I want it, and then I'm just going to glue it down to the neck by just gluing it under on either side. And I did paint the back of this chick as well for a finished looking product. Once the collar is in place and I'm happy with how it looks, I'll just go ahead and glue the bow down on top of the collar. I chose to do it sideways like this, and then I just took a little tiny flower that I had in my stash and popped it in the middle of the bow. I think it all ties together super nicely. And here is our little chick. It is so adorable, and I really hope you like it. It cost us over $1, maybe around $2, but it is a fairly large statement piece and so cute. Okay, DIY number 4. Now we're going to create an easy, adorable little bunny whose body is an egg. I think this is so cute. I got this at Dollar Tree. I removed the hanger and also the little bow, and also the little feet and the hands. I just made this bare because I'm going to be repositioning everything. I like how the feet are dangling, but then kind of I think it looks maybe a little weird, so I'm going to move the feet up after I get the body the way that I want it. So just removing everything and getting it ready to paint. I do peel off as much of that paper on the egg part, which is the body, as I can, and I use a little sander block from Dollar Tree to sand it smooth so that my paint will look nice. I'm careful not to mess with that face. I think the face is adorable. There's no way I could paint a face that looks better than that, because I think it's super cute. So here I am just carefully working with the body, and then I paint it with my Waverly Ballet Slipper chalk paint. I also paint those little ears with my Waverly Ballet Slipper chalk paint. And again, I just leave the face alone, and I love the little cheeks. I think it's a perfect color to blend in with my Waverly Ballet Slipper chalk paint. So once I get this all done and everything is dry, I go ahead and replace these hands with some hot glue, and then I'm going to be moving these little feet up and covering the holes that were originally holding the elastic or whatever it was that was holding the feet down, allowing them to dangle. So now those holes are covered. Now I'm just going to apply a little bit of glue to the back of a few window clings that I had left over on that sheet, a couple adorable little eggs, and just place it so it looks like the bunny is holding them. I go over it with Mod Podge, and I give my bunny a little jute twine collar, which I think is super adorable, just gluing it down in the back to make sure it doesn't fall off. I create another little bow for the bunny, but I didn't want it to be overpowering, so I just cut my ribbon down in half so that the ribbon is a little bit thinner, and I just created a super easy bow by folding over on either side and tying it in the middle with some jute twine. I can then cut off the excess and glue this little bow down to my bunny's collar. This craft is so easy, but I think it is so adorable popped into a vignette, or this would even be super cute popped onto a wreath. So there's an idea for you, but I go ahead and glue this down, and how cute is this? It's so easy, it's so adorable, and you could use any little window clings in the middle of the stomach just to give a little bit of decoration. Then of course I put little jute twine bows on the ears. I love to do that, and here is our adorable little bunny. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and enjoy our playlist.
You can subscribe to my mom's channel, and thank you for watching today's craft, and stay safe.